Welcome to the podcast. This is Connor versus Cobb. I'm Ryan Conner.
Nick Cobb.
How are you, Nick? I heard you got into everyone who listens to the show knows that you got flipped last year. You got flipped. You had a car accident in Chicago. And you were coming back from a show. Our friend Mike Cannon was in the car with you. You got hit by someone who ran a red light. It flipped your car, totaled it. You were very lucky to come away with minor injuries. And when someone came to your door to see if you're okay, it suddenly started playing our friend JL's album where he's doing Trump impressions. So someone came to check on you, and it sounds exactly like Donald Trump asking for Sarah Huckabee Sanders to hand him some toilet paper.
Yes, that's exactly right. You've got a great memory on you.
So all of this has happened. You've gone through this great ordeal. They didn't give you enough money to even replace your car, which had been paid off.
That's true.
But now you have received a modest settlement, enough to pay for, I would say, out-of-state tuition at a public university for 1 year.
No, I don't think that that's true. I don't know, man. My nephew just started going to school. I don't think that that's true. Maybe in-state for 1 year. I would say you could buy a 5-year-old Honda SUV.
No.
Yeah.
A 5-year-old. No, they're like 45 new, aren't they?
No, that's what I'm saying. You, like 5 years old.
But they gave you 30 something.
No, they not 30 something. Like
30.
Yeah, but there's
a 5-year-old Honda Pilot's probably going to be in 20.
Well, it's like 26, 27 actually.
Is it really?
No, but I still have to pay like a lot of stuff out of that money.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's not like I'm just getting 30. Like I have to pay a fair amount of stuff out of that money because this whole past 13 months I've been paying on like payment plans. Like they're like, "Oh, you don't have to pay for any of this stuff." No, I'm being taken to collections by several places and trying to tell them like, "This isn't my fault." And they're like, "We don't give a shit. Like you're paying for this ambulance." Like, no, they have to pay for the ambulance. And you're just waiting for a year. You essentially you get hit and you lose money. That's what happens.
Here's the question then. If you could do it all over again, would you get flipped in your SUV twice for first not quite enough money to buy you the same car and then just enough to buy you that same car? So basically you get about 20 grand. If you know you're not going to get hurt, would you take about 20 grand plus your current car?
Well, by the way, I am doing PT like every single day.
Yeah.
So it's nagging injuries. I mean, was my arm cut off? No, my arm wasn't cut off. But like I have to do PT forever. So but if you want to do that, even exchange, like, are you willing to be flipped over a couple of times and end up upside down and then listen to a Trump impression? Would you be willing to do that for like a new Subaru Outback? How about that?
Right. There you go.
Would you do that?
I don't think anyone would take that, would they?
I think a lot of people would take it. It depends on what your feelings are about the car that you're getting flipped in.
Also, what about just the trauma of flipping in a car? Just wouldn't you think that would have you on edge every time you're going through an intersection for the next 10 years?
It does have you on edge for the next 10 years. Yeah. Every time you go through an intersection. Anytime someone kind of pulls out too far out of the parking lot trying to take a right, or they're pulling into the left-hand turn lane from like a cross street. Like, it freaks you out.
The only time I can think of off the top of my head where I had a clear lawsuit, I would not. Okay, have I told you about Shitstorm? What was it? Shitstorm 2009?
No.
Or it was either Shitstorm 2009 or Shitstorm 2011 is what it was. Okay. Me, Quincy, and Al lived in Hoboken. We lived in a building. It was not great. It was one of those things where Quincy had a good job. Me and Al, I was living off of stand-up. Al was living off writing for, a small news publication. Quincy came down to our level. And so we lived in this Hoboken apartment. Hoboken's very nice, all except this one building. And it's a 3-bedroom, and we were on the first floor out of 5. And one morning, it suddenly sounds like it's raining really hard outside. And I'm like, what's going on? I look out, I look out my window, and it's not raining outside. I'm like, that's so weird. Why does it sound like rain? Keeps going. I go out in the living room. It's because shit water is raining into our living room.
Shit water?
Yes. There's been some sort of a sewage burst. Wow. Pouring into our living room. First, we grab like all the buckets, Tupperware, whatever we have, and we're just dumping every few seconds. We call our landlord. Quincy's at work. Al comes out. It's me and Al. We're just doing this. We got umbrellas because it's literally raining on us. And,
shit water.
Yeah, shit water.
Why did you stay in? What was it, like freezing cold out?
Everything was going to be, all of our stuff would be ruined. So
it may be worth it just to not be in shit water.
Well, we call the landlord. She comes by with a bunch of 5-gallon buckets. It gets to the point where so much is coming down so fast, because then our living room ceiling collapses and Al's bedroom ceiling collapses, and it's just pouring in both. I don't understand how there's this much shitting going on in our building.
What?
And we're literally dumping the buckets into the toilet or into the tub, like just on rotation. Like we don't have any let up for like 2 hours.
No.
They won't turn the water off in the building because they say people are getting up for work. The reason Quincy wasn't there because he would go to work at 6 a.m. So this started about 6:30 probably till about 8:30. Landlord, or not landlord, but like super ends up showing up, and she's like, "I'm so sorry. You can smell it a block down the street." And she comes in. She's like, "I'm so sorry. I will make sure this is taken care of for you guys. We will absolutely make this worth it." I mean, Al and I are like shell shocked, dude. We're just looking around at all the shit we have to throw away. Quincy had the nicest stuff. His bedroom was safe because somehow we discovered during shitstorm that there was a slope in the house. So nothing got up to his room.
Yeah,
nothing
right.
Got into mine. I had some musical instruments. Thank God they weren't damaged. Al's room destroyed. All my like clothes that I was wearing when I was doing it, and then I had a bookcase, a couple hundred books just and in the living room, plus rug, furniture, because like anything on it, it's like it's gone. We're not
of course
playing games here.
I mean, anything. I mean, good thing you didn't have animals or something. You didn't have pets that got
right.
Right.
No, totally. Well, dude,
diarrhea.
Quincy probably had $150,000 worth of recording equipment. So that's what we were like so terrified of, is the water getting into.
Did you have like renter's insurance or something?
I don't think I did at the time. Quincy probably did.
I mean, I don't know who does. I certainly didn't have it at the time. I wouldn't have even known what it was.
Yeah, I do now, but even it's not, they only cover so much stuff. It's like, It's great. If you're in your 20s, it'll cover your stuff. If you're in your 40s, it's not covering your stuff.
No, it's not covering your stuff. But like, did the landlord like pay you for all? But there's like this significant amount of damage.
So check this out. So Hoboken's a mob town, right? We all know this, that it's a mob town. So the the super's telling us this stuff, and then the owner comes up, dude, and it comes up and like was it Sergio Tacchini or whatever how you pronounce that? One of those tracksuits. He's speaking Italian to our super for a moment, and then he just walks away. I see him do like a little nose rub before he leaves. And,
an intentional nose rub, like a signal.
Like it was absolutely disgusting, is what it was. He was like trying to cope with what it was doing to his head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So here's what he offers us: some cleaning supplies and 1 month's rent.
No.
Yeah. So even our super was like, "I am so sorry. I don't know what to tell you." So we just drew up like a little document, what was ruined. And I think it was like $6,000 of shit that was destroyed. We bring it down to a law office, And they're like, oh, I mean, this is open and shut. We have video, photos, all this stuff. I'll see if I can find photos to embed here. And he's like, you can get several times more than this, 50 to 100,000 if you want. And we're like, we're really just trying to get paid back, then plus like our trouble of replacing things.
But, that's not what the lawyer wants to hear.
Yeah, but we're like, however you want to work this, go ahead. This is just the physical damage, but then do whatever you want to do. He's like, okay. Well, he was like, we'll get this sewn up within the week. And he calls us back later that day just to confirm some more information. He's like, okay, on it. Guess what? Never heard from him again. We would call and we'd get his voicemail. He would never call back. So then we tried something. We Googled our address, and turns out it's owned by one of the 5 mob families. And they've been known to just do horrendous things to people, especially if they sued them.
Oh, I thought he got himself a little payoff, and so he just was like,
no. I don't think so. I think he was scared. But which begs the question, would you put up with a shitstorm in your house if you didn't have to pay your mortgage for 1 month?
No, of course not. No.
No. It's like nothing is worth this. I mean, even if you're just like a homeless guy or someone in your building, if someone in your building pees in your living room and your rent's free for a month, I still don't think I would do it.
I'd do that. If somebody just pees in my living room, yeah. I mean, because my living room has been peed in plenty of times. Tons of times.
Fair.
But, I mean, everybody also kind of has this New York story. Like, and it just kind of laughs it off. Like, everybody has that. When I first moved in with Amy, she was subletting.
Uh-huh.
And, now, do you want to finish?
So there's 2 more things.
All right.
They hadn't fixed it by the time people got home from work, and shitstorm picked back up when people got home from work. Another 2 hours.
What?
Yeah.
Why didn't you guys just leave? I mean, it seems like, I mean, I know that's a stupid question, but
you got to protect your home. We're just trying to do what we can so we don't lose everything.
But you smell like shit, and all of your stuff smells like shit.
Yeah, if it hits the ground and splatters, then we're just completely done for. Luckily, the living room wasn't nice. It was like a collection of couches that we had over time. We had 3 full-size couches. It was so absurd that our friend Meg came over. The first time she came over, she goes, "Got a whole lot of couches." It's just never.
Right. Yeah, actually, so we had 2 sectionals when I lived in Queens. We had 2 sectionals that backed up to each other, and 2 TVs, one on each side of the living room.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we thought was like, this is the best I've ever lived in my life.
Yeah.
Were these 2 sectionals. It was the best. It didn't pay a nickel for either one of them.
All 3 of us could lay down on the couch. It was great.
Oh, it was great. What bothered me is I had a roommate at the time who didn't believe in cleaning up when he got home. He's like, I work all day. I'm not going to clean up at home. So he would always order Chinese. And you know how Chinese comes in New York, like it's always plastic bag, tied up, grocery bag kind of thing. And he would just leave it there. He would just leave it on the couch, which I'm not saying they were pristine or anything. They weren't. But he would leave it on the couch. And then I'm like, after a few days, I'm like, surely he's going to start cleaning up after himself. But then they would accumulate. Like he wouldn't even throw away like Tuesday's Chinese food when it was Friday and he'd gotten Chinese food every single day.
Hold on, like the food is on the couch or the bags?
The containers, the bags, and if there is food left over in the containers, and the garbage can is 8 feet away.
Why wouldn't you, if he's leaving it out for 3 days, why wouldn't you just toss it out then?
I did. Plenty of times. But at a certain point,
that's what he would do. I see.
No, he did do that because after a certain point, you're like, no, I'm not cleaning up after this adult anymore. He can walk 8 feet to throw it away. And I would talk to him, but I would be like, dude, can you throw this away? He's like, I just don't want to clean up after I get home from work. I'm like, I don't really care what you want to do because you're cool other than this. Yeah. That was the worst part is he was super cool other than that one thing.
One time my freshman year of college, my friend Jim, so the room starts smelling terrible. And I can't figure out what it is because Jim's area of the room is just a disaster. Just papers on the floor, everything. I'm like, Jim, can you come here and figure out what this smell is? He's digging under his desk and under a bunch of stuff. There is a half-eaten can of tuna.
Really?
I was like, Jim, how did this happen? He goes, oh, I knew I lost this tuna. I didn't know where I put it.
I'm just not a slob, man. I can't handle it. It bugs me so much if you can't even keep the living room. That was always like, I think that was the general rule of everyone that I knew who had roommates. It's like, your room is your business. No one cares. No one's ever going to come in and be like, you need to clean up your room. No one's your mom. All right. But the living room, you can at least clean up after yourselves. And yet you would generally have like 2-week grace period. And then they just start fucking shit up. Because they're like, they're not going to kick me out. They're not going to get another, they're not going to get another person.
That's how I'm about my office here, my car. I need my car to be like look like it's new on the inside. Like, you know what I mean? It has to be that. I mean, if I had kids, I know it'd be different because it's a lot harder.
I'm fine with just orderly. I just wanted orderly. I don't want wrappers in there. I'm always I had a roommate once who, like, I was the bill guy. Unfortunately, they would just like, hey, he's somewhat responsible. He's not going to let this like electric bill lapse. And I'd be like, okay, $72.30 from everybody. And he'd come over and he'd either give me something like, here's $25. Or he'd weigh over, he'd be like, here's 300. I'm like, what? Do you expect me to keep up with this over the course of the year?
You gotta run a ledger?
Yeah, we get a bill every 3 months. I have to keep up with this? And he's like, just here, just take it. $300. That should be good for it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. When Amy was subletting from a friend on 64th and York, pre-war building, the apartment was 220 square feet, and it was 2-bedroom.
Is there a kitchen and bathroom?
My shower was next to the kitchen sink and the stove. It was like the shower was about maybe an inch from your oven. Like,
oh my God.
Which you get used to. All this stuff you get used to. But here's where it compares with Shitstorm, is that everyone in the building, all the same plumbing. Everybody shared the same plumbing, right? And woman above us had some issues, and she would shove her garbage in her sink, like on the reg. She'd shove her garbage right in the sink. Even though it was one of those buildings, one cool part about it is you could just open up your door and there was a chute right there, like a foot away. You didn't even have to have a trash can in your place. You could just open up the door, throw it down the chute. But she'd shove her trash in the sink. And so then the water would back up. So it was always backed up. So you'd go in the shower and you turn it on for like 30 seconds until the water was about to start pouring out all over your floor. And then you'd have to turn it off, soap yourself, shampoo yourself. Then you could like rinse for 30 seconds, but you had to get it all off you in 30 seconds, but you still had to turn it off and then wait again.
This is crazy.
And there was certain points where there were vegetables coming up out of the drain from that woman's apartment, like snow peas and stuff were coming out of the drain. So we would have plastic bags on our feet while we were showering.
Do you report her?
Well, there wasn't much we could do really because we were subletting. Like you're just kind of on an island. If you're subletting, you can't tell about anything. I mean, you could complain to the person you're subletting from, but they're not going to do anything because then they have to say, my friend's living in my place, which they're not going to do.
Yeah, we sublet in New York a couple of years ago. Not even sublet, it was a swap. They were in our house, we were in their house, which it's fine for them being in our house because it's a single family house. But it was like in a building with like a doorman and stuff. And we're like, yeah, we went to college with Derek. And then it was just like, please don't have any follow-up questions about where we went to college.
Right.
What his last name is.
Yeah, you feel like you're one of the people in Argo where you've got to like memorize all of this information. Yeah. But dude, on the drive over here, by the way, this reminded me of New York. Nothing ever does around here at all. It's so suburban. There's a four-way stop right before you turn to go to my house. Mm-hmm. And an older woman was on the corner, and she clearly wanted to just keep walking. She did not stop. And I waved her on to cross in front of me. And she turns around and she walks backwards across the street. Even slower. It was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen.
Like, was she flexing on you, or was this just crazy?
I guess there was a woman who was going to take, like, who was on her street, right? The cross street. who's going to take a left. So she's waiting on this person to cross too. I don't even have to wait that long. I'm taking a right turn. And so she's walking, and I'm motioning her along. I mean, she's old. And she turns around and starts walking backwards. And I just immediately look at the other driver's face of just like complete and utter disbelief. Yeah. Just like, you're completely fucking up my world right now. And that's like, she clearly was like, she was living for it. Turn around and walk backwards?
I've never seen anything like that happen in a neighborhood like yours that's like very suburban.
Very suburban. I don't know.
Where you assume you're going to run into that person every now and then. And to do that, I'm so tired. I did shows in Phoenix over the weekend, 6 shows.
How were they?
Very fun. I drove though, and I didn't want to drive back home during the day today. So I drove home after the show last night. So I got home after 3 a.m. And this is after it was 3 a.m. after 6 shows. It was over 120 one of the days there, and then in the 110s 2 of the days. Yesterday was like low 100s, and that was the cool day. So I'm just so worn out. Only I can't understand why people live in deserts like this.
I don't understand
the city's there. The city's there, so people are going to live there. But why did you settle there to begin with? It's not like Alaska you get because of oil and stuff. Like why Russian and English settlements in that area. It's like it's there.
I mean, there are people that just like the desert.
There's
there are people who like the heat. I don't understand myself. Everyone around here, because it hit 95 today here, and people are acting like we're all sand people from Star Wars. I mean, they just go insane. And I'm like, you just don't know what you're talking about. This is nothing. 95. This will be the hottest day of the year for sure, was today. And it was hot. But I'm like, have you been to Phoenix?
Oh, yeah.
Have you been to Vegas?
When I got home last night.
It's like 122.
It was 65 at home. Oh, my God. It felt so good.
Yeah.
Just absolutely glorious. Just like as we're heading west, and it's just going down and down and down. But let me tell you, the first show, I don't know if this has ever happened to me, but someone confronted me. He wasn't happy with something that I said during my show.
Did they understand it, or did they misunderstand it?
Oh, no. It was just we'll just call him a right-wing snowflake. He goes, I just wanted to let you know that what you said about Fox News is not okay. And I said, what did I say about Fox News? And he goes, And I'm like, oh, I remember something I said.
Like you're trying to bait him.
I didn't even know what the fuck he was talking about. Because and it was just, I said, a guy from Fox News said men shouldn't eat soup in public. That guy, Jesse Waters, said that. It's just the dumbest thing, right?
All right. Okay.
And I just said,
I kind of low level agree with him, but all right.
I just said, a guy on Fox News said men shouldn't eat soup on public. That's all I said. And I said, I'm sorry, what's your problem? He goes, you don't talk about that on stage. And I said, some people, that's all they talk about, and that's fine. And he goes, you don't do that here. Maybe you can do that in San Francisco. You can do it in Seattle, but you don't bring that shit here. And I said,
people love throwing San Francisco in that. They all.
I know. And I said,
you take that shit back to Austin.
I said, I quoted someone, and it's a non-political joke. I can quote someone in any context that I want to if I'm quoting them. And he was furious. His wife's trying to calm him down, and I'm like, I can't even understand this.
Yeah.
I'm saying a direct quote. I told the guy, I was like, if you want, I can send you the clip. I don't understand what you're mad about right now. And he was like, you don't bring Fox News into it. You don't bring Fox News into it. He was wearing a Tommy Bahama shirt, if you're wondering. And his face was very red.
I mean, that heat scrambles people's brains, I guess. I mean, I
guess so.
I used to do weekends at a club over there, and they always paid me like they just hand me a bunch of cash, and you're thinking like, yeah, man, I just got handed a ton of cash. And then you're driving home that night like, man, I wish I weren't handed a bunch of cash. I wish this weren't the case. But every single time I performed in Phoenix or that area, I've driven home that night and been like, the first 2 hours are going to be a breeze. and then it's going to be absolutely brutal when it's 1 a.m. and you're like, I've got 3 hours left to go.
Have you ever been so out of shape that you're sore for 2 days from ping pong? That happened to me.
Yeah, something.
It was lame. I hadn't been able to exercise in 6 months because of the foot issue. And then I was like, I finally, like, I've had 4 cortisone shots now. Nothing's working. Well, on Thursday, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just check the Egoscue method stuff and see what they recommend for like Morton's neuroma or any other sort of foot nerve thing. Dude, one session, 15 minutes, my pain was probably 90% gone.
Really?
Now today's my fifth day in a row and using it. My foot feels completely normal after 6 months of excruciating pain.
Man.
So anyway, so I was like, well, let's play ping pong then. I can do lateral stuff. But since I hadn't done anything lateral, dude, I mean, I'm telling you, I had to sleep for 2 days from ping pong.
Yeah, I mean, you're a lucky man. You're not going to get a lot of sympathy that you could sleep for 2 days off of ping pong. It sounds amazing.
Well,
all my exercise is like
not sleep, lay down. I had to lay down. I didn't sleep.
That sounds nice too. All my exercise is like kid related. Like if somebody is like, I do Pilates, I'll be like, well, I took my kid to like, a trampoline park. It's basically the same. Yeah. It's just I'm a multitasker and I'm better.
Yeah.
Dude, last week, Father's Day, right? My friend has been taking his family up and down the East Coast in an RV. That's his plan for the summer. Up to Maine, up to, he's in Georgia and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And up and down. And it sounds like a lot of fun. And he's like, I'm going to go through New York City. I'm like, do not go through New York City in an RV. I don't know why you're even asking. This seems like pretty much adulting 101. You just don't drive through New York City
don't say that word. Please go back. Say something else 101.
What do you mean? What? Parenting? Driving 101?
I don't know. You sound like a 22-year-old girl on Twitter.
Do they say that a lot? I don't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Do you want me to just start over completely, or do you not just want to pretend?
No.
Just let me go.
Just keep going. Now, I'm just glad that you know now that you I don't even know if people say it anymore, but it's like something they would say on girls.
Really? Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's like the coolest thing you could say. I wish you hadn't told me.
I'm glad we caught you. So what happened?
We caught me.
Yeah, the royal we.
No, he decides he's going to take an RV not only through the city, but over the George Washington Bridge. Have you crossed that bridge? In an RV?
Yes.
In an RV.
It's tough to cross it in a Corolla.
Yeah, you could argue that it's the busiest bridge in the country. And you may be right. It probably is. And he went through it. He went over it in an RV. And he was like, by the end of it, he calls me up. He's really stressed. Like, I can't believe it was that crazy, that it was that terrible. I was like, I was trying to tell you, like, how do you not know? Yeah. And he goes, well, I just figured it was Sunday and it was Father's Day, so it wouldn't be that bad. And it's taken me a week, and I still can't get over that he thought that Father's Day would have any real impact on the traffic on the George Washington Bridge. Like,
he thought it would be
that
less
you're banking
traffic?
on Father's Day. Yeah, exactly. There probably would be a little bit more, but
slightly more,
but certainly not less.
Yeah, that bridge ruined Chris Christie's political career. He could have been president, except that he fucked up the traffic on leading up to that bridge to screw with his political opponents. Which we don't even know if it's a fact, but the fact that the allegation is there made it so that he didn't win the nomination when you think he probably would have been the favorite, and he just got sandbagged.
I think it's probably true. Crazy. There's not enough blowback when you bring it up. I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up on Bill Maher and was like, yeah, I did it. At this point, like, why not?
I mean, I think he did. I just mean they never proved it in court or whatever.
Well, maybe he thought it was Canadian Thanksgiving and there wouldn't be that much traffic. I don't.
My point. My point is, it brought down the most competent national Republican.
Okay.
Like that, you can't think that this bridge
There's somebody in Arizona right now that's really pissed off. You just brought this up, by the way. It's like, you can't say this.
Bring up Christie?
Yeah. Oh, no. You're going to bring him up?
He would call Chris Christie a rhino. He would call him a rhino. You're going to say that? You're going to say that? Not in front of my wife. Not in front of my wife.
Did he say not in front of my wife?
No, she was embarrassed the whole time. She was like, she was over talking to us first, and she was very nice. And she said that their daughter lives in LA and stuff. And she was being very friendly. And then her husband came over. Fucking fire in his eyes.
She knew what she was doing. She was coming over to oil the machine. That's what she was coming over to do.
Let's go. Please stop this.
Awful.
Yeah.
God. I told you about, like, when I told the bit about being in a wreck, and I like motioned my hand like, hey, I was here a year ago and I got in a wreck when I was driving home, and I pointed with my right hand just to kind of like, you know, like it was basically, you're saying it was really close by and you're showing. Mm-hmm. And somebody came up to me after the show, and I was featuring, like, there was another hour of the show, and somebody came up to me, they beelined it over to me, and they were like, you pointed the wrong way. Like, what are you talking about? Like, when you were talking about the wreck, you said you had it in St. Charles and you pointed with your left hand, and you should have been pointing to your right hand. And I'm like, this is all you've been thinking about?
Like, are you supposed to orient to St. Charles like it's Mecca or something? Like, are you supposed to always know which direction it is so that you can properly point to it?
I don't even know if he was right. I mean, he seems, maybe he's from there, and there's some pride with like where it is. He has like this aboriginal sense of
you're in a
direction.
You're not performing on the interstate. If you were performing on the road, then it would make sense. You'd be like, it's actually this way. You're performing in an enclosed space.
Right.
You're just pointing with whichever hand is free.
And when you walked into this building, you turned right and left. And depending on where you're sitting, you turned right again. And I'm on the other side of you. I'm looking at you. I'm a mirror.
You didn't look at your compass when you got in there?
It was just a weird bit of feedback.
But, I mean, just imagine if it was like behind you. You're like, I got in this accident at St. Charles. And you point behind you. Like, how stupid that would look. I got it over here in St. Charles, back here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, do you want to play this conspiracy theory game?
Yeah, I do.
So conspiracy
This is my new favorite game.
I'm going to give you 3 conspiracy theories. I made one of them up. You are going to tell me which one is made up. Okay? The other 2 are true things right now. They're true, the actual conspiracy theories. Okay.
They're true that the theory itself exists, but not necessarily that they're true, whatever they're theorizing. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Right. The first one is called the Roosevelt singularity. Okay. FDR never had polio, and Eleanor Roosevelt did not exist. Mm-hmm. Eleanor was FDR's alter ego, and he would stand on occasion to play the role of Eleanor. This is why you don't see any photos of them together, or at least next to each other. He would just kind of put this, like, a little bit of makeup on his face to play her, and, you know, he could stand, and then his character of FDR was always, you know, seated in a wheelchair. And this is actually part of the inspiration for the Norman Bates's mother character.
That's a fascinating theory. Okay.
Yeah. That's number 1. Number 2, dinosaurs helped build the pyramids. So ancient Egyptians domesticated dinosaurs to help move the massive stones used in pyramid construction. So, you know, dinosaurs are supposedly around much more recently than science claims. But, you know, obviously the Creation Museum in Kentucky proved that untrue. And their strength was used to drag stones. And there are actually paintings and hieroglyphs of strange creatures around the pyramids that are actual proof of this. Okay. Number 3, the viral 2014 ALS Ice Bucket Challenge was actually a mass satanic cleansing ritual or initiation rite where people got duped into declaring their obedience to Satan. So conspiracies say that water is often used in occult practices for purification, having millions of people dump water on their heads was part of a grand occult initiation ceremony disguised as charity. Now you have tens of millions of people who are sort of
unknowingly Satanist. Right, this is what I'm going to say. I think that you made up the first one. I think you made up the one where one of our best presidents also
the Roosevelt Singularity
posed as his wife. Yes, I think you made that one up. I think the dinosaur sadly is an actual conspiracy theory. And I kind of, I mean, I could see how the last one would be a conspiracy theory too. Let's hear it. How'd I do?
You're good at this, man. You're very good at this. You got it right.
Yeah, I did.
You're very good at this. I think I would have thought that the Egyptian one was made up. Because it's like, the FDR one sounds so crazy, but you have to remember, like, John Conroy, my buddy who worked with me over the weekend, or worked with over the weekend, he reminded me that just a few years ago, Republicans were claiming that Hillary Clinton ate babies.
Yeah,
and so
some of them still do.
Like, people believe that. It's like, why wouldn't they believe that FDR wasn't real or Eleanor wasn't real? But
that's
job,
more.
Man.
That one I actually can kind of sink my teeth into, because at the time, obviously, like, the press would never take pictures of him in a wheelchair, right? Talking about getting people through the Depression. It would also make sense. It's like, okay, what if his wife died? It's like, we don't want to bring the people down even more. We don't want people thinking the FDR is depressed during the Depression. So, hey, here's a quick fix. She's dead. Let's just put her out in the backyard, rose garden, and then you're going to be both. Like, all right. I kind of enjoy that one.
Can you imagine now, though, if we had a president who was like, in every photo that where he's seated, he has a blanket across his lap? Like, what? I don't think we could accept that. Even if there was no implication of any sort of physical ailment, we'd be like,
he's just a quilt guy.
Does he always have a blanket on his lap? Does he always have cold? Can we have a president with cold legs? I don't know that I like the president with cold legs.
Yeah, no, that probably would. Like, he wouldn't win. It'd be kind of like what's his face when he had the tank helmet on, Dukakis. It's kind of like that. It's like, dude, I don't want a leader who has cold knees. I don't want that. And wants a quilt. I don't like that at all. I'm just good at nailing those. I'm pretty sure I'd heard of the dinosaur pyramid one, to be honest. It just stuck out. It was like, oh yeah, that's kind of loose. That's kind of vague, but I have some memory of it.
Oh man!
All right, do you want to hear my hypothetical?
Did not know that. Yeah. Let's hear.
All right, I got a couple. I enjoy these today. I just thought of them like an hour ago, so I got a couple here. You ready? Would you rather be a misunderstood superhero that is always on the run, looking over your shoulder, but can do amazing things, or have Draymond Green's career?
So the first one is Steven Seagal.
What? No, you're a superhero. Like, you can do amazing things.
Just kidding. There was the scenario last week was like, would you like to be Steven Seagal, but with all the drawbacks? And I'm like, I didn't know there were drawbacks aside from he's not as good at karate as he makes people think.
It's amazing the stuff that you don't know. Yeah.
So I'm in this one. I either have Draymond Green's career or I am a superhero. What type of drawbacks, though? What do we mean? Like, what type?
Well, you're a misunderstood one. You're
drawbacks?
People, the police are after you. Like, but people are after you. They don't think that you're as good as you are. Like, politicians use you. You're a good dude, but you're misunderstood.
Peace,
Pardon?
I can't live in peace because the police are after me.
I mean, you could vaporize them, I guess, but yeah, kind of. Your life is adventurous, and like, you're an older man, and you don't want that much adventure. Like, you just complain about ping pong.
I hate to say it, I'd have to go Draymond. I can't stand the guy. I think he seems great off the court. I hate the way he plays basketball. I think he's the dirtiest basketball player who's good at basketball that we've had in a long time. Probably.
Right. Somebody.
God, I don't even. Someone who's actually good, very good, and dirty. It's usually one or the other,
Yeah. Usually, if you're Kurt Rambis, it's like everybody kind of understands why you're doing what you're doing, why you're clotheslining people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, lame beer, stuff like that. So yeah, I guess I have to go Draymond's career just so that I'm like, God damn. I mean, he knocked out his teammate. All this, kicked 10 people in the nuts.
But you just can't be bothered to be a superhero. Like being a superhero would be a pain in the ass, especially a misunderstood one.
I think it would be the worst job in the world. It's worse than being president, probably.
Yeah, because every time you can't be bothered, like you can't go chill ever. But you're a hero.
Yeah, I think I'd just be Draymond, and then hope after I retire, I can be on one of the studio shows.
Okay, here's a different one. I'm not even going to ask the lead-in question. Would you want to be able to tame sharks? Like be a shark whisperer? Any kind of shark, Ryan Conner can tame it.
Yes.
If it meant that you don't look remotely cool when you're doing it. So like you're not like whispering to it, you're not doing different hand signals. Like you're basically like that scene in Ace Ventura when he is messing with his friend in the police station and he talks with his ass and sings out his asshole. Like it's like he's a ventriloquist and he's like spreading his butt cheeks and his ass is the puppet. Like that's how you. I mean,
if I could.
That's how you tame sharks, and you're very good at taming it. You can get them to do whatever you want, pretty much. Whatever they're capable of doing, you can do it, but you've got to talk out of your ass.
Even if I had to do this to do it, I would do it. Like, there's nothing that would embarrass me too much. If I'm taming sharks, I don't care.
The way you tame sharks is by pretending to be giving two hand jobs. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's your symbol.
Even if it was that, if the sharks are getting tamed, I will do it.
Okay, so you're cool with that. Like you'd be cool.
It's how I do it. It's how it works.
You would want that would be totally fine with you. Like everybody's amazed, but then they're like, "Man, this guy can tame sharks," and then you're basically like pretending to give somebody a blowjob, and then the shark is just like doing whatever you like, skipping across the surface of the water.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
So how about like
I'm not doing it for everybody else. I'm doing it for me and the sharks.
How about a superpower that like instead of shooting lasers out of your eyes, like you still shoot lasers, but it comes out of like the middle of your back. It's just not what people are used to seeing. Even though it's coming out of your back.
I love it. Yeah.
How about nipples coming out of your nipples?
What's the downside?
That it's like jarring to people. They're already like they're only used to seeing like Homelander and Superman shoot it out of their eyes, which looks awesome. Dude,
I don't.
But you shoot lasers out of your pinky toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. Is it going to ruin my shoes or my shirt, like whatever, or can it go?
Well, of course it is. They're lasers.
Do I have to have like convertible shirts or whatever?
Sure, you've got to like tailor your shirts.
Man. Let's do it.
All right.
I'll do it.
So in that case, if you're that kind of a superhero and you're misunderstood, but you shoot lasers out of the center of your back, would you take that or Draymond's career?
If it was just shoot lasers out of my back, I take that. But if it's that and I'm misunderstood, I still take Draymond's career. just because maybe I'll get to be like on Inside the NBA sometimes.
I don't see how you can be misunderstood if you're shooting lasers out of your back, but I don't. But like, you become like a meat.
Like, oh, we get it. We get exactly what you're doing.
Have you seen him? The work he does with sharks? Yeah, like you have to lay down on your back and pretend like you're giving birth. That's how you communicate with sharks. You just have your legs all hiked up. Do you immediately become like a guide? Is that what you would do? Like come and like watch me tame sharks? Take people out in the ocean? What's that?
Probably so. I mean, look, I would be in the ocean so much if I wasn't afraid of sharks. Because I love the ocean, but I'm truly terrified. I know that shark attacks are extremely rare, But the fact that if they happen, it's serious, that's enough for me,
Yeah, sure. I mean, Amy still talks about this video she saw like off the coast of Egypt or something, where his diver goes in, Russian dude. She said he was Russian. And shark just comes up, eats him, and then you see him like occasionally, like his head pops out of the water yelling for his dad. And I'm like, I don't ever want to watch it. Can you stop telling me about it? God. I never, ever want to watch it. I don't want to hear about it. It's like, they're very scary. They're just these monsters. They're sea monsters.
Stack that in gram positive for me.
That's right. That's where it's going to go. But you would go into the ocean if you could tame sharks, no problem.
100%. If I had full shark safety, let's do it. I've only been. I was afraid one time.
I'm not saying you can breathe in the water or anything. You still have to swim.
I know. I'm not Aquaman. Right. But I'm just talking about animal fears. I when I was a kid, I was in the ocean constantly, like up until like probably my mid-20s or something like that. Yeah. Now it's like, I'll go in some, and it's like shallow or shallow-ish, like up to my chest. Although I do know that that's where shark attacks happen anyway. Right. But I just don't do it much.
Yeah, whenever they say that about the shallow water, I'm like, well, what do you want people to do? Be like, I want to go swimming. Let's rent a boat and go out into the middle of the ocean where it's thousands of feet deep. That's where I feel more comfortable. I mean, what do you want? Right. What's that doing?
Two times I've almost gone snorkeling in Hawaii. I can't remember this place, but you take a boat out to this giant rock. It's supposed to be crazy snorkeling and scuba diving. 2 times I've almost gone. Both of the times, the day before I went, there were fatal shark attacks.
Shut up.
So I'm like, yeah, I will never do this. Yeah. The day before. So
what?
I'm never doing it. Yeah.
It seems like the few times I've been on vacation and there was like some brochure of like, take a helicopter ride. And then the next day I find out that day that I came in, the helicopter just like flew right into the Grand Canyon. There's a lot of that. Like, okay, you know what? I can see the Grand Canyon from, the Grand Canyon. I can just see
we
it.
Don't need that. Like, do you see that balloon? Was that in Brazil the other day? I think it was Brazil. I can't remember, but like, I would never get in a hot air balloon. It looks so cool.
I would never do it.
They don't steer that well,
Of course they don't. It's just a balloon.
The technology hasn't changed since the 1790s. It's not. Why would we trust this? Right. Did you see the one that burnt up? Dude,
yeah, dude.
Thomas Jefferson saw a hot air balloon. Like that's. I don't want to fly the same way Thomas Jefferson flew.
Right.
So yeah, this one like burned up, and I don't even know the number of people who died.
I'm not interested in doing the hot air balloon. It just sounds absolutely fun. I would rather do a hot air balloon ride if it's skydiving, where I have to jump out of the basket, than to continue to ride it.
They get lost too. They get lost sometimes.
Mortifying.
Just fucking scooting. Yeah. And then you got to get your balloon back. What do you do? UPS? How do you get your balloon back?
No, it's a hard pass.
Yeah.
I just watched this. Amy and I just watched the first episode of this show on HBO called Mortician. It's about this guy just got out of prison. They're giving you all this backstory, the stuff he did in the 80s, where he basically had full ownership of the crematorium on the land of his parents' funeral home. Uh-huh. They didn't know what he was doing. And he says, like, it takes like 2.5 hours to completely burn up a dead body. And he's like, so I just undercut all my competition by loading up like 15 people into the oven at once, and burn up 15 people. Took about 2.5 hours, and nobody's going to know the difference with the ashes. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to know the difference. Like, they're dead. It's ash, and people are pressing him. And there are a lot of people who like clearly like, he went to prison for this. He duped people. Mm-hmm. But I got to say, I kind of get it, what he's saying. Like, we're just talking about ash here. And Amy turns to me. She's like, so if you found out, if I died and I was cremated and you found out it was somebody else's ash, would you be mad? And I'm like, I don't know that I would be that mad about it. I just don't think I wouldn't. And she was upset that I wouldn't be mad. And I'm like, I could lie and tell you I would be, but I mean, what are we talking about? Do we really think that every person that's like cremated, that the oven is thoroughly cleaned and there's no ash? You're going to get all the ash out of an oven?
Right. I think
I,
you're
I
right.
just
I
don't.
think I'm with you on this. I'm trying to decide. I think I'm with
You put 15 people. Like they did say some stuff that was gross. Like they would like have these contests of like who could get the stuff the most people in the oven, and like they would break arms, like this horrible stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, does it really matter that you know that it's that person's ash? And I'm probably in the minority here.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Well, yeah.
You can't confirm it.
I'm close. I'm closer to your side than hers on this. My problem would be like if it's not a cremation and it's like a casket burial and they give you the wrong person. Then I'd be like, this is weird.
Oh, I mean, that's a completely different
thing.
I'm kind of against cemeteries anyway.
That's where I would draw the line.
Yeah, I'm against cemeteries anyway. Because we need land. And cemeteries and golf courses are just taking up a whole lot of land. Doing what? Nothing.
Do we need land? Aren't we one of the most sparsely populated countries in the world?
I don't know. In some cities, we could really use some more land. I mean, look around LA.
Some cities, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that. Yeah, the U.S. is 177th in population density out of like what 193 countries or something like that.
Thanks for proving me wrong, even though I exist here, and it feels like sometimes we could use some more land. I just don't know what we're doing with these cemeteries.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying.
These people
cemetery is usually about the size of a tenth of a Walmart parking lot.
I don't know if you're. No, man. I grew up like across the street from a cemetery. I'd ride my bike over there, which they don't allow anymore anyway. But it was huge. It was absolutely huge.
I got no problem with cemeteries. I'm just going to say that. I just don't.
What an easy business.
I'd rather be thrown into a hole myself, but I'm okay with.
I don't want the box.
Cemeteries.
I don't want the box.
Yeah, just throw me in a hole. I don't care.
Whenever I see a documentary of like a war documentary and there's a mass grave and like 50 people, I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Put me in there. Put me in the mass grave. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I don't see.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't spend $50,000 on a coffin.
Exactly. I don't need a place for future generations to take a pilgrimage to. I don't want to give them that. I don't want to give them a site of worship.
Yep. I mean, I would ask that you, if you're going to bury me, don't bury me in a suit. Bury me in like some shorts and a tank top. Just something where my body's
hanging out of their shorts.
Yeah, something from Old Navy. Like, be sure to get something from Old Navy, wash it and dry it like 4 times, and so that it's like way wider than you ever wanted it to be and way shorter than you ever wanted it to be. Something that you would give to like some Marmaduke fucking dog.
Why don't the Old Navy? Why don't they just flip their fabric 90 degrees so it doesn't? Instead of doing this, it just goes the other way. Why don't they just do that? Just flip it 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's really. You feel like you have to do like you've got to flip it like a clock, and then like it's like. Well, I guess my head's going out the armhole. Yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
Right.
It's a ludicrous store, but yeah, I know, man. Just dump my ass in a mass grave. I have friends down there.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. That said, I do like visiting my grandparents in the cemetery.
But you have an urn.
You ready to play?
Like you haven't like
no, I don't have an urn.
No, I'm saying, but you can have an urn. Like
you can.
Amy's grandparents, we have urns. We don't know what to do with them ever, and it feels rude and disrespectful to use them as doorsteps. But they're heavy as shit. They're basically like cement blocks.
Well, for us, it's it's a family cemetery, right? And it's several generations. So it's my grandparents' siblings, it's their parents, their grandparents, cousins, and all this stuff like that. So I don't know. There's a real connection to the past and going there and sort of I don't know.
You're right. Okay, fine. Fine, you're right.
I don't enjoy it. I'm not like, but you know what I mean? It's the same as like, I was just at like I was in Virginia, whatever that was, a few months ago, and went to, it was a veterans memorial, and then seeing my family's, they had bricks for each person, and seeing those, it was like, to me, it's the same. It's a similar feeling, you know. I don't know.
That's very powerful, but I don't live that. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, and those are people who actually did something with their lives. Those are people like veterans who, like, those are heroes.
You're like, but not you.
People who, yes, correct. People who should like have a respected place, like touched on those, never touched again. This is where they lie because of what they sacrificed, and they deserve that. You can just like dump my ass in a dumpster behind a Chuck E. Cheese. Like, that's all I really deserve. I certainly don't deserve a hero's goodbye.
You know, I thought would be fun, because I know this is going to Monticello. Like, you can go to Thomas Jefferson's grave. He has 3 things listed, right? He has Declaration of the author of the Declaration of Independence, author of the Virginia Declaration of Religious Freedom, and founder of University of Virginia. He doesn't have president, secretary of state. He doesn't have any of this other stuff on there. It's just those 3.
God,
and
his B-sides are incredible.
It made me think. He could have put inventor of the swivel chair, inventor of macaroni and cheese. Like, there are all these other things he could have done, but it made me think it would be fun to do something like that too. Just like, had
for you
over 500 Michael Jordan cards. Yeah, just like instead of like loving son
father and
brother,
husband.
It'll be like, had 500 Michael Jordan cards and was a team leader at Deck America. Like,
went through 17 therapists in 10 years.
Yeah. What if it just Ryan Conner, Boston Market drive-through, 97 to 98?
That would be great to have a highlight. Size 14 shoe. That's all I want on there. That I had to live my life with a size 14 foot. That's the only thing. Father, so whatever.
Yeah. Ryan Conner didn't care for Jacksonville. Just put that on the, on the degree. Didn't care for Jacksonville. Oh. Okay.
Really?
Weird. All right. You ready? You ready to play Rank Them?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Rank Them is a game, and this is for the listeners, not for you, where I list 3 permanent characteristics. This is for a person you're spending the rest of your life with them. They're perfect for you in every way except for these 3 defining characteristics. You must rank them. These came from Rank Them co-creator Alan Scontra. Number 1, she always tries to recruit women to become wives of ISIS fighters.
Okay.
Number 2,
That's
in
tough.
her presence, you always hear the background sounds from a casino, like slot machines.
Like, that's her like hero music. That's
okay. It just follows her. Okay.
All right.
Number 3, always has her arms through holes of a giant soft pretzel. Giant as in about as wide as a person's body. So it's just always.
Goodness, God, this is maybe the hardest one I've ever gotten.
Always lugging around a giant soft pretzel.
This one is awful. Okay, always has her arms around a pretzel, like in front of her,
except when sleeping. Yeah, except when sleeping. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I got to go number 1.
There's Amy
trying to recruit
jacket.
people for ISIS. That's the best one of those 3.
There's Amy with her pretzel jacket. Okay, you go ISIS number 1. Okay.
I think I have to.
Have fun
like
visiting her in federal prison. See if you can get to Guantanamo.
I think Casino's last. I think I'm going to do 1-3-2. Casino is. I just can't imagine living with that. I mean, you're living with someone like that sounds like a casino. The rest of your life, no, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one because it's like it depends on who she's trying to recruit to become an ISIS wife, because if it's people that I find annoying, let's get them out of here. You know what I mean? Clear them out.
It's a great repellent. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The casino one, I like quiet. That's the problem. I like quiet. The pretzel thing, I've never understood pretzels. I don't understand the appeal. That this thing in Philly, they consider it a food. It's not a food. It's a snack. Okay?
But you don't like even pretzel sticks?
I mean, maybe like a pretzel crust on a pie or something like that. I'm not against it. I'm talking about the soft pretzels. In Philly, they act like it's a food like pizza.
No, I know what you're talking about. Like, put mustard on it.
I like a pretzel bun. I like a pretzel bun and like a brat or something like that. But I just think it's one of the more overhyped things, is what I'm saying.
Man, God, coming out hot.
Casinos last. I'm going pretzel number 1. And it's just going to have to be a quirk. Oh, she's always got her pretzel. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, you and I basically agree. I mean, it was pretty close there between pretzel and recruiting ISIS. But I can't, it just seems like it'd be so uncomfortable for her as well.
It seems
walking
awful.
around handcuffed by a giant pretzel.
But and I will also say that I think recruiting ISIS wives is probably less serious than recruiting actual ISIS terrorists. So in the eyes of the law, it's probably slightly less.
Like, how serious are we talking? Like, just at parties, or does she have like a table out there at like orientation and she's actively recruiting, giving out T-shirts, building the email list?
I don't know. Like, she's checking out at Walmart. How are you? Well, I'm good. Let me ask you, do you like your job here? Because if not, I know some opportunities overseas, actually. Overseas, and
you like to travel?
Yeah, you don't even need a visa. You just have to travel through Turkey.
You like living a Spartan lifestyle? Yeah, no, I guess that'd have to be number 1 for sure.
All right,
it's kind of charming in a way.
Guys, thank you for listening to Conner versus Cobb. I am Ryan Conner.
I'm Nick Cobb. Thanks for listening, everybody.
This is Mitch Williams. Thanks for listening. Where can people look up things for you?
Well, the last one, let me see. I think on July 19th, I met our friends in Mahomet. This Friday, I'm at the Lincoln Lodge, if it comes out before then, in the city of Chicago, doing 2 shows there this Friday. Looking forward to that.
If people look you up on social media, they can see this ticket information.
Yeah, maybe.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Not.
Go to my website, RyanComedyComedy.com. I've got a lot of stuff on the road coming up for the fall and the winter. Some more to come soon. And you can get my book, my special, and a bunch of other crap. All right. Thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Accuse us of war crimes. Let's just get the people talking. Bye.
Just a couple of guys palling around, coming out of your speakers, a beautiful sound. They debate, berate, and have a laugh or two. Conner v. Cobb, for me and for you. La 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 la, la 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 la. Conner v. Cobb, for me and you.
Ryan and Nick. Nick and Ryan. The Scoundrels of the Hour.